Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'd like to share with you a brand new palette from Sigma Beauty, and this one is called Vintage Radiance. I really do enjoy the Sigma formula. They have really beautiful eyeshadow formula, also their blushes, highlighters. I haven't tried their mascara, but I've heard it's very good. I own many of their brushes, and that's how they actually got started before they started out with makeup. But I purchased this, it was a pre-sale, like it was available like a couple of days before it actually went live. And I didn't even know, but there was a gift with purchase. So included when I made the purchase for this eyeshadow palette, they included, and then let me choose the shades, Brow Powder Duo, and I got it in dark. Now I actually don't use powder brow products, but it was being offered. I figured I'd play with it. I don't have that on today. I didn't want to play today when it was time to film. Also the Define Brow Pomade, and I also got that. I got that in medium. The other one I got it in dark. But this one looked deeper to me, so I got it in the, see how deep it looks? So I got it in the medium. They had a brow pencil, which is what I'm actually wearing on my brows today. And it is one of those micro brow pencils, and it's very creamy but not too creamy, and you're able to actually create really fine strokes. I really did enjoy using this. I felt like it was very easy to do my brows, and it has a spoolie on the other end, and I got this in this shade. I don't see a shade on here, but it has to be like dark brown because that's usually what I go for. And then they also included, I love this. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know that I use this all the time as my eye primer. And this is called the Eyeshadow Base Primer, and I like the color Ignite because it is very neutral and it does cancel any veining or redness or anything you have on your eyes. And it's actually not sticky, and I did put a little bit of loose powder over it, but just a tiny bit. But this is not really a sticky formula. I've used it before without powdering it. And then a lipstick, and I was able also to choose the shade of the lipstick, and I chose something that I thought it would look pretty with the looks that I'm creating today. So that is a beautiful shade, and this is in the shade Temptation, and the value of this free gift with purchase was $128. So wowie, and especially since I did not know that they were offering that. They had a 20% discount on the palette, so that was an amazing deal for me. So this is what the actual palette looks like. It is so pretty. In the back it has the shades and the names that I really do appreciate, because you guys know that when it comes to matching the shade names on the back to the shades in the palette, I am terrible. It does have a little gold border all around the palette. It is cardboard. It is magnetic. It comes with a dual brush, which their brushes are very nice. This is the E38 and the E54, which is like a flat brush, and this is like a shader or a blending brush. It says diffuse crease. So I am going to use this brush today. This is what the actual shadows look like. It is absolutely gorgeous, so pretty. So I'm going to create two looks today. I'm going to do one with the browns and then one with more of the purpley colors, the purple colors, and I'm not going anywhere, so it really doesn't matter what it looks like, but I thought that would be nice. So I'm going to start with this color right here, which is called Beloved, and it does have a very nice mirror. So I'm going to use the mirror on the palette. So I'm going to work on my right eye first. I'm going to do the more neutral eye look on my right eye. So let's start with the shade Beloved, which is a very light, like a taupe color. Oh, it's very pigmented. It's a lot more pigmented than what it looks like in the pan. But Sigma, I own quite a few palettes from Sigma. They're really good. I do have a discount code with them. And whenever they're having a sale on their website, you can actually stack discount codes on top of the sale, which is very nice. Not too many brands allow you to stack discount codes with their sales, but they do. So just keep that in mind. all these products will be linked below, and the discount code will be showing also, but it's a 10% discount. But I think it's really nice that you're able to stack it with any other sales that they're having. I'm going to use a flat and go into this beige right here. I don't know what happened, if I hit that with my nail or what. This one is called Buttercream, and I'm just going to go on my brow bone with it. Yeah, I don't know where that came from. But anyways, I think this palette is gorgeous. I also just purchased the new palette from Sydney Grace. That one is called Hot Mess. And the name on the shades are so funny. I think this is going to be a beautiful palette. You really hardly get any kind of fallout with Sigma, which I really do appreciate. I'm going to go into this one right here that is called Milestone, and I'm going to just wipe down the brush a little bit and go with the same brush and just go on my outer corner. Yeah, it blends like a dream. I have a couple of other Sigma products that I will be using with this look. The foundation that I'm wearing is a Dior, the one that is the matte foundation. The concealer that I'm wearing is the one from Estee Lauder, the Double Wear. And then the brow products is the one from Sigma, and the clear brow gel I have is from Dalton. I do have a little bit of lip gloss on my lips from Lawless. Forget the filler, and this is in the shade Velvet. But that was just enough to kind of hydrate my lips before I go for lipstick. So I will wipe that off once I'm ready for the lipstick. Alright, so now for shimmer, I'm going to use this one right here. This one is called Soulmate, and I'm going to use my pinky. This is a beautiful shade. Look at this. Look how pretty that is. So pretty. And that's just like a regular, like a satin shimmer. It doesn't have any kind of glitter or anything like that. Very, very pretty. Got a little bit of fallout there. I'm just going to wipe it off with this brush. And then now I'm going to go into this shade right here that is called Bubbly. This one right here, I'm going to use the same pinky. I'm wiping that off. That is another beautiful shade. So pretty. Alright, so just to make it a little more sparkly, I'm going to go into this one right here that is called Antique. And let me swatch that for you. This, I'm not going to do it today because I'm I'm not going anywhere. But I think with this shade, it's absolutely gorgeous. But I think I would use like a glitter glue with it to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. So I'm going to take it with my ring finger and just tap it like in the middle. I am getting a little bit of fallout, which I figured that I would. That is so pretty though. I'm going to take the brush that I was using. That's gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to take this deep, deep brown, and I'm going to get like a pencil. It's a little thicker than a pencil brush. That one's called Alter, and it's almost like a black brown. I'm going to grab a little bit of that and just use it as a little bit of liner right here on the outer edge of my eye. And then whatever's left over, I'm just going to blend it on the outer corner. I'm going to take the bigger brush that I use with the palette and just blend everything together. I'm going to take this flat brush and I'm going to go into this brown right here. Actually, I'm going to mix these two together and just go on my lower lash line, on my outer third, And I think I'm done with that eye. So now for the other eye. I'm going to start with this shade right here. And this one is called Dusty Rose. Let me wipe my brush. I'm going to use the same brush that came with the palette. Okay, I'm going to go with the flat side and get some of that buttercream that I put on my on my brow bone. Just so that both brow bones match. I'm going to go into this darker color right here. This one's like a burgundy. It's called Moody. Same brush. This is the type of brush that you can create an entire look with it. Between the flat brush and the blending, the blender is, you only need one brush. Okay, I'm going to wipe the brush. I'm going to go into that first shade, that Dusty Rose. And I'm going to blend up here. I really didn't mean for that to get so dark. That's pretty dark. Let me get a clean brush and blend some more. Because that's really pretty dark. And I didn't mean for it to get that dark on my crease. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, I'm going to go into this shade right here. And that one is called Lovingly. And just put it over here. I'm going to take the brush and blend it. I'm going to grab a little more of that dark burgundy and just kind of blend in between. I barely touched it. Okay, then I'm going to take this shade right here. That looks beautiful. That one's called Vibes. Oh, that one is kind of dark. I think I'm going to go over, it's kind of dark, so I'm going to go over this right here. Because I thought it was going to be lighter. It looked lighter in the pan. I'm glad I swatched it before I put it on my lid. That looks dark. It doesn't even look purple on my eyes. Right? And it looks very purple there. But it doesn't look purple on my eyes. That's kind of strange. Alright, so now I'm going to go with this one, Treasure. Let me get the brush. I'm going to get the flat brush. Pretty, but I want something brighter. I think I'm going to tap this blue one on top. We're just playing. Let's see what happens. Looks kind of like silver. Definitely the glittery ones have fallout. So I would suggest that if you use this, I'm going to tap in this one and this one, grab a little bit on the flat brush. So I suggest that if you use these, you use a glitter glue with it, because there is fallout with the glittery ones. So I think I want to leave it there. For mascara, I'm going to use a Lancome Lash Idole Curl Goddess. Loving this mascara. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, so this is with 2 coats of the mascara. I think it looks pretty. Now, to tell you the truth, I'm a little disappointed with the glittery shades. I thought they were going to be more like this one here, it looks purple in the palette. That, I mean, it does have like some purple shimmer in it, but I don't know, it doesn't look purple to me. And then even the ones that I tried to brighten up the eye look, it's not giving me the brightness. Like, okay, these 3 and this one, they're like top coats. And this one I put on the lower lash line of this eye, and it really doesn't look blue. It looks more like a gray, like a steel gray. I don't know. This palette is a little deceiving. This is a first impressions. I don't want to be too harsh. but I expected a little more. I can't say that I'm in love with it. I have other eyeshadow palettes that have wowed me from Sigma more. I don't know. Maybe with a glitter glue, it will make a difference. The eyeshadows will pop more. But let's finish the look. Like I said, first impressions. I sometimes don't like to do first impressions, but when it's a brand that I've worked with before and that I'm very happy with their eyeshadows because I feel like they're always really, really good, I don't mind doing a first impressions because I know what to look for. For example, Sigma, Viseart, Sydney Grace, Natasha Denona. I know what their eyeshadows, what to expect from them. So even if I'm doing a first impressions, I can usually tell if I'm going to be happy with the palette or not. And right now, it's just okay. I'm not that impressed. Okay, I'm going to use my Morphe bronzer, and I'm going to use the powder one today. I'm going to be using this brush from Sephora. This is supposed to be a powder brush, but it's okay. It will work for bronzer. Yeah, I'm kind of a little disappointed. I don't feel like any of the shades are really brightening. And usually when they're toppers, you really don't get that much of a base. So it's just going to add a few glitter particles on top of whatever's underneath. So I don't know. I'm not wowed by it. And I hate to say that because I love Sigma. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that I think it's amazing. Now, I have to say the looks that I've seen on Instagram have looked absolutely gorgeous. And when I saw the color story, I thought it was beautiful. But on my eyes, it just looks okay. I'm not saying I hate it and I'm not going to use it again, but I expected a little more. I still definitely have to use a glitter glue because I'm all sparkly and I really don't care for that. I don't like to have a lot of fallout on my face from my eyeshadow. That's why I prefer shimmers to glitters, and I knew this had glitters and it's okay. But, you know, I have a humongous pimple there. I never got pimples when I was a teenager in puberty, and I'm getting them now when I'm older, okay? So I am vintage, and now I'm getting breakouts, and it's one of those that is on the inside, but I do have some pimple patches that I'll put on it. I used it on the one that I got here a few months ago, and that helped. All right. I don't have a bronzer from Sigma. They do have bronzers. I have this duo eyeshadow highlighter. It's called Rose Glow. I'm not sure if these are available. It's very pretty. It has a mirror, and then it has a blush and a highlighter. And I've had this for a while. Have I used it? Maybe once. But it is pretty. And I will link it below. Like I said, it's called Rose Glow. I will link it below if they have it. If not, they do have individual blushes that you can get. But this is very pretty. Let me get a bigger mirror because otherwise I will go crazy with my blush. It is a matte blush. But as you can see, it's very pretty. You can build it up. Well, you know, the Estee Lauder Double Wear is a full coverage concealer. And my dark circles are crazy. Let me add a little more. Because I do want this look to look nice. Okay, let's do the lips before I do the highlighter. So let me take this off. I'm going to line my lips with the Makeup Forever lip liner in Whatever Walnut. It's a Whatever Walnut, Wherever Walnut. I always say that wrong. Wherever Walnut. Okay, so that's the lip liner, Wherever Walnut. And now for the lipstick, again, this is in the shade Temptation. a very pretty shade. Their lipsticks are very creamy. They're very nice. They have a nice wear time. They're very hydrating. I do own a couple of their lipsticks. They are magnetic. And their packaging is very beautiful. And I love the way that the bullet is like in a little, you can see it has like a little tip so that it's easy for you to line your lips with it. If you don't use a lip liner, you can go around the edge of your lip very, very easily with this. Okay, I'm just gonna grab a little bit of the blush and just make sure that I didn't wipe any off with the concealer. Okay, I'm gonna grab this highlighter brush. This is from the Sephora collection set that I purchased during the sale. And I'm gonna go into the highlighter. This is very beautiful also. You have to be careful with it because it is very pigmented, but that's the highlighter and the blush. So I'm just gonna go softly. Pretty. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this small brush. This also came with a Sephora set. This is the number 15. And I'm going to grab a little bit of the highlighter. I want to brighten my eye look a little bit. I'm going to use a little bit in the inner corner. I'm going to use it on both sides. That looks a little brighter. Let me get my blending brush and just make sure that it's all blended. And that way I can get more fallout on my cheeks. I'm going to grab my Dior powder. I absolutely love this powder. And I'm just going to grab a little bit and just go over my blush to make sure that everything is blended together. And over my pores, this is very, very blurring. And my T-zone, I did not powder my foundation today. This foundation, you really don't need to powder it. Powder it is kind of optional. Let me use a little bit of concealer over here to brighten this up a little bit. Wow, getting older is such a joy. Just whatever's left on the brush with the powder. All right, so this is my completed look. I think the eye looks look nice. I like them, but I'm not like, wow, you guys need to go get this eyeshadow palette. This is, you know, it's okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm just having, you know, when you have one of those days that it doesn't matter what you do with your makeup, you're just not happy with it and you just don't like it. But I even feel like I used 2 color stories on my eyes, and except for my crease, the rest of it looks pretty much the same, and I use all different shades. It looks beautiful in the palette, but I think the shades in the palette don't translate to the eyes, especially the shimmers. Tell me what you think. Is this something that has been on your radar? Do you guys, have you ever used Sigma Beauty whatsoever? You know, I do like them. I love their brushes. Like I said, I own many eyeshadows, including their quads. I think I own all of their quads, a lot of their eyeshadows like this size. I own a lot of Sigma products, but I don't know. And you know what? I'm so silly. I am so stinking silly. I brought this palette to use as a highlighter. This is called the Glow Kissed. This is a highlighter palette, which is absolutely gorgeous. And this is what I was going to use as a highlighter. But did I remember? No, I had the other one open in front of me. Therefore, that's what I used. So where is my brush? We will try a little bit. I'm going to use this one right here. Something a little different. It's called Twilight. This one looks like a little more blingy than the one I used before. Okay, I'm going to use the other side and use this one here. Is called Aurora. This is a beautiful highlighter palette. If you guys love highlighters, Whenever they have a... Oh my goodness. Whoa-wee. Hold on. No, no. No, 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 no. That's not me. If you guys like glowy highlighters, this is a palette to get. Okay? Whenever they have a sale, I got this one on a sale. And then I did use a discount code with it. Wow, that is like a little too much. Let me grab a little bit of the blush. The blush you barely have to touch, guys. This one wasn't so bad, but the other one was glowy. That one was not plain. Okay, let me swatch them for you. Okay, this one is Flare. This one is Aurora, the one that I put on my cheek. Flare and Aurora. That one is Twilight. This is the one I put on this cheek right here. I just picked up too much on my brush. I forgot how brightening these are. This one is Zizzle, which has like a peachy undertone. This one is Golden Hour, which is definitely gold. If you have like a nice tan or something like that, that would look beautiful. And then the last one is Sunstone, and this one is Deeper. These will look really pretty on the eyes though, the deeper ones. Definitely very, very blingy. If that is what you like, I think you will love these. This is a beautiful palette. So this is my look. Still a little blingier there than I like. Even this side looks a little blingy. But that's okay. That way you get to see how good their highlighters are. Alright, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Again, let me know if you've ever tried Sigma. I know a lot of people just get their brushes, but their makeup is pretty good. And I will continue to play with this palette to see if I can do something a little different. If I get to like it a little more. Like I said, it's okay. I think my look is pretty. I like it. But it's just not wowing me, okay? Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Please leave me a comment, even if it's just a brief one or a little heart or something like that, to let me know that you are here. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I would love to invite you to subscribe. It is free. And I would love to have you as part of my YouTube family. Okay, I love you guys, and I will see you on my next video. Bye, guys. Mwah.